Overwhelmingly, the businesses back home and across the country continue to tell us that regulation, lack of access to capital, taxation, fear of taxation, and just the overwhelming uncertainty that our businesses face is what's keeping them from hiring. They just simply cannot. They have cut everything they can cut. Our households have cut everything that we can cut. Looking into the future, you are supporting the idea of taxation, increasing taxes on those who make $250,000 or more. Those are our business owners. Those are—
They're 3% of your business owners.
3%.
3% of your small businesses.
64% of small businesses, 64% of jobs that are created in this country are for the small businesses.
No, that's right. I agree with that. But just to put it in perspective, and it's important to recognize why are we doing this. You know, our deficits are 10% of GDP, higher than they've been since any time in the post-war period, really. We have a big hole to dig out of, and we have to figure out how to do that in a way that's balanced, good for growth, fair to people as a whole. We're not doing it because we want to do it. We're doing it because if we don't do it, then again, I have to go out and borrow $1 trillion over the next 10 years to finance those tax benefits for the top 2%, and I don't think I can justify doing that. And if we were to cut spending by that magnitude to do it, you'd be putting a huge additional burden on the economy, probably greater negative economic impact than that modest change in revenues. So that's why.
What is the goal of the tax? You stated it's only 3%.
Only 3% of small businesses.
What is the goal then in increasing the taxes?
Well, no, the goal is that, and I know you and your colleagues understand this and you care about it deeply, we are living with unsustainable deficits.
Yes.
If we do not address them, they will hurt economic growth and investment in the United States.
But if, as you stated, only 3% of small businesses will be affected, how can that increase in taxation be that significant to turn that around?
Well, you're making our case.
The point is,
we're not doing it because we want to do it. We're doing it because we see no alternative to a balanced approach to reduce our fiscal deficits. And again, if you don't, I think what the House passed demonstrates this. If you don't touch revenues and you leave in place the tax cuts for the top 2% that were put in place by President Bush, if you leave those in place and you're trying to bring our deficits down over time, then you have to do exceptionally deep cuts in benefits for middle-class Americans, and you have to shrink the overall size of government programs and things like education to levels that we could not accept as a country. And so to do a balanced approach to reduce our deficits, you have to make modest changes in revenues. There's no realistic opportunity to do alternative to doing that. But, you know, we got to be careful how we do it.
Okay, I'd like to reclaim my time for a moment. We all agree jobs are the answer. And yet you are willing and more than capable of putting that excessive burden, which we already know from our small business owners, is the issue. Why would we go and why would we do more? Why would we harm them more? Why would we create more uncertainty in the private sector?
I'm not sure we disagree fundamentally. The economy needs to grow to create jobs. Our basic challenge is try to figure out how to make growth faster, more sustainable, translate into more jobs. Part of that is expanding exports. Part of it is making sure that we're investing in infrastructure, education, things that matter to our strength. And part of it is a balanced, growth-friendly approach to deficit reduction over time, because if we don't fix that problem, you'll leave a broader cloud in the economy longer term. But we got to be careful how we do it so we don't hurt the economy.
Well, Mr. Secretary, I would just like to close by saying that on behalf of the business owners in North Carolina and across this country, you are wrong.
PBN, for news that affects America.